Hey. So we are talking to the wonderful Sonia Davies today. Sonia is a spiritual. I've got my notes. I'm always rough and ready. I'm not going to be able to do this. I won't read them. But Sonia is the spiritual life strategist, which I love. Has a long background in the corporate world, which led to burnout. That's what we're here to talk about. We don't, how can we make this happen in our business? And lots of life-changing realizations about following your dreams being essential for happiness. And she left to set up her own business in 2022. Yep. And she blends a unique integration of therapeutic coaching for the mind alongside spiritual guidance. I can never say Akashic record.
Akashic record.
Akashic. I know there's lots of different ways. I've done Akashic work. People pronounce it different ways.
Yes.
Energy healing for your spirit, tapping, lots of lovely stuff around work for your body. I'm not going to read it all out, but her mission is to make the world a happier place, one joyful person at a time, which we love. And as we know, this is a conversation around how we can really build business without burning out, but it is also part of the Sparkle and Thrive Summit. So in the summit, Sonia is going to be talking about the power of integration, where you'll learn about how balancing your mind, body, and spirit with practical strategies enables you to have more freedom and impact for you and your clients, which again, I love. Which is one of the reasons it's so good to have some amazing people on this. So again, I have my questions. We don't do pretense, we just get on with it. So Sonia, could you start by sharing a little bit about your business journey?
Yeah, sure. So as you've already mentioned, I left corporate land in December 2022 after realizing that I wanted to do something different. I was training as a therapeutic coach at that point, and I left and I set up my business in early 2023. I opened the doors in, I think it was May 23 that I actually opened the doors to clients. And I've been on a massive journey since then. And I've realized really, as I've left the structure of large organizations, which is all I've ever known my whole life, school, university, big corporations, local government where I was a senior leader, I realized that when you go out and you go it alone, it's like, oh, hang on, what? I've got to do it all myself. What's this all about? And it was one heck of a shock to the system. So really my journey and the things that I share with other people is basically my reality. So everything that I do is something I've experienced myself, which has had a massive impact on me, which I've then gone and trained in myself and qualified in, which I then share with my clients. So everything I do is based on my own personal experience of being on the other side of it first. So that's what I bring into my business. And that's, I think, why I'm so passionate about what I do. It's because I've lived it myself, and it's now my mission to bring this to other people. And that's what I've spent the last, we're about 18 months now actually doing. That's what I've been doing, and it's helping other people to become everything that they can be, and partly to learn from my mistakes, but also to help people navigate through their own uniqueness. Because that's the core of this as well, is that we're all perfectly imperfectly unique, and it's brilliant and wonderful. And it's when we celebrate that we can really, really make a difference.
Yay. Oh, I just love it. I love it. And totally get it. Having had that corporate experience myself, and it is that whole thing about how can we take our experiences and build on it. And I've just loved following, because your journey. We've met for the first time on Zoom. This is Google Meet today, but it's just amazing. So what advice would you give to someone feeling overwhelmed by the demands of growing their business? You're ready, you're in that zone right now, especially that 18 months kind of zone. So this is fabulous. You're in the thick of it, really.
I really am. The biggest advice I would give is tune out the noise. Oh my word. If you're running an online business, There is so much out there. If you're on any social media platform of any kind, which as an online business owner you will be, the noise, the number of things you see dropping into your feed saying, do this, do this, do this, do it this way, my way is going to work. The reality is,
that's all right.
The reality is the only way that's going to work for you is your way. So my advice would be, yes, have a look at all the people out there who the business mentors and things. You don't have to do it yourself. Being unique doesn't mean alone.
No.
But find someone that really resonates with you, that you go, yeah, that lands. And it's not just what they're saying, it's how they're saying it, it's who they are as a person. Pick that person and stick with them and just tune out everyone else.
I love that. And funnily enough, I put a tip in a group today which said very, very similar sort of thing. And I think the thing about this summit is we've got some people who do similar things, you know, similar-ish things, albeit every talk is different and all of that. But the beauty is, and this is I'm a huge believer in this, that you will find the one person or the two. It might be a couple, because if you want to say get into Insta, you know, it just depends, because you might need to have a couple of experts as part of your world, but in specific specialist ideas, not like, as you say, it is tuning out the rest of it. But I've always said you can get 10 coaches in a room doing very similar things, but not everyone will serve everyone.
And the reality is, as an extension of that, particularly in my world, there's an energetic match with your person. And
absolutely.
And when you trust your instincts and go, yeah, that's my person, stick with them. And even though you might think, oh, I might upset them if I don't do what they do. No, you've got to stick with your truth. Just focus on one and listen to what they say and try it out. And also experiment as well. To try things out based on that one person. But that doesn't mean that's forever.
Yeah.
That's what you need right now. You can get another 6 months down the line and go, right, thank you very much. I've learned what I need to from that person. I'm moving on to the next one now because I've changed and shifted and what I need has changed. And that's okay as well.
And as you say, it is that energy as well. And we all develop energetically as much as we are developing in our business, as much as we're developing as people, and as much as our potential clients are developing as well. And that's the kind of juicy beauty that can feel overwhelming, but you know, that's where it's about navigating that. So I always feel a bit like, I'm going to look down here. What tools, techniques or habits have been most effective for you in managing your time and energy? Because that's part of what we're talking about. We're talking about the whole in this.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I'm all about is, there's some practical things that I've done and some very, very recently. As you say, I'm still on my own journey, and I'm only sort of a couple of steps ahead of where my ideal clients are, to be fair on this. So for me, particularly having left the corporate world, there was a sense of, here's the freedom. I can do whatever I want. I'm a business owner. So, I mean, for me, I don't have kids. My husband's also self-employed. He's an artist. So we don't have that structure. And I kind of went, yes, I can ignore the Monday to Friday thing. I can do what I want when I want. And actually what I've realized is that actually some of that structure is helpful and important. And what I'm talking about with structure isn't actually structure, it's boundaries. All about boundaries. So for example, I've now set up a system where I don't work Saturdays and Sundays. Now, I have no reason to treat Saturdays and Sundays any differently to any other day. But the reality is I need that structure, that boundary of I've got those 2 days off where I do not work, because that lets my brain switch off. And that's so important.
Yes, I must admit, having had the 3-year-old, that does create the boundaries that I probably didn't have before. So I think that's a brilliant sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's finding your own, what works for you.
Yes,
that's the key, because everyone's different and unique.
So how do you decide? Because I love this, because I know as a coach myself, this is why I put this question in. I used to go through this phase of saying yes to everything, but actually I really do believe it's important to be saying no. Yes, we want to embrace the opportunities. So how do you decide what to say no to or where to focus your efforts? I mean, we've sort of talked about it a little bit in terms of getting rid of the noise.
Yeah.
But the no.
So for me personally, and this is where my spiritual side really comes in and helps me, I trust my intuition completely, 100%. And if my intuition, if I connect in with my guides and it's a yes, do this, then I do it. If it's a no, don't do that, then I don't. Even if my brain is going, oh, that would be amazing. And it's like, no, don't. It's like there's something I really, really, really want to sign up for something at the moment. And all my instincts are going, no, not now. Don't do it. And I'm going, yeah, but I want to. It's going to be. And it's like, no, absolutely not. So I do that spiritual connection work. I check in. I go into my Akashic records every morning and I check in with my guides around what I'm doing and helping me make decisions. I do that. So that's for me personally. That's how I decide. And literally, if my guides say do it, I do it. And if they say don't, then I don't. And I literally trust them that much. I know a lot of people struggle with that level of trust in their intuition and stuff because we've had it conditioned out of us for millennia. So the other thing I do practically, I mean, I also have, my brain is neurodivergent and I have all sorts of other things going on with that. I'm full of ideas all the time, and I have got myself just a really little notebook that I carry with me everywhere.
Oh, cool.
And in that book, every time I get a new idea for something, I write it in the book, only one idea per page, and I put it in the book, and that gives me permission to not do it now. So it's in the book. That means it's out of my brain, so I don't need to carry it in there with more noise and more busyness in there. I put it in the book, and then once a week I go and look at the book, and I give myself permission to look at the book, and then away from the excitement of the idea, I then look at it and go, is this the right time to do it? And then I check in with my guys. Do I do it now or not yet? I haven't lost any of the ideas. I haven't lost any of the creativity. No. I've written them down, but I don't have to do it now. And that's really important. My ADHD really wants me to do everything straight away. But by putting it in that book, it's made a huge difference to me because I'm captured it. I haven't lost it, but I give myself permission to not do it now, but know that at the right time, I'll come back to it. That's been a game changer for me.
I love that. I know, and I'm very much an ideas person. And I think that's a really good top tip. And the whole thing, you're right, it's that it depends where you're at with the whole intuition, spiritual guides and all of that as to whether that's something that resonates or not. I've been randomly connecting and doing spiritual work and meditation for 20 odd years now, so it's very much something that's part of what I do too. But as part of the summit, you'll be able to learn if that's something that you're not quite there with. That's something that we're going to be looking at and like developing more in the summit if it's for you, because like you say, that's the whole point of all of this, and the whole thing around the burnout and why this is important is it's about working out what works for you and having that support to do that. And that's very much what it's about. So I like quick wins, but we've talked so much about things that people can already take away anyway. So what's one small but powerful step someone can take today to start building a more sustainable business? What would be your quick win?
Trust your instincts. No, that feels uncomfortable, and society's conditioned that out of us, but your gut feeling, your instincts, no matter how spiritual you are or not spiritual you are, they're always right. And when you get in your head, that's when you start questioning it and going the wrong way. But when you trust your instincts, you're right 100% of the time. I guarantee it. You can convince yourself out of it, but honestly, your gut feeling is always spot on. So when you learn to trust them, go with it. And I just want to say, try it out. If you're
Yeah.
not sure this is going to work for you, try it. Have a day or a week where you say, every time I have an instinct that says, do this or don't do that, I'm going to follow it and see what happens. Experiment with it, see how it is, because that's where it comes in.
Excellent. And is there anything else? I haven't put this in the questions. Is there anything else that you'd like to add, or you'd like to just sort of quickly share with our wonderful audience?
I think for me, the reason that I work in the way that I do, and I call myself a spiritual life strategist, is because, as you referenced before, Emma, everyone is unique and everyone's on a different part of the pathway. I know some amazing spiritual people who haven't done the work on the mind. I know some brilliant psychologists or people in the psychology space, in the helping you your thought processes space, the mindset work, who don't think about the physical body as well, and how to calm your nervous system and how to nourish yourself. And I'm not talking about diet plans, that's not what I mean. I mean nourishing what your body needs, whether it's air or water or movement or whatever. And actually it's in the wholeness of that that you find the joy and your perfect place. So there is no one size fits all, and that's why it's perfect. And that's why I do what I do, which is actually I can do all of that, and I've trained in all of those modalities to bring them together into energy work, into therapeutic coaching, into somatic work, into I do tapping and things like that as well. So that is all. It's so important to see the whole picture and know that no two people are going to be in the same place on that journey. And that's the brilliance of it all.
And it's perfectly leading, which wasn't deliberate at all, into what the Sparkle and Thrive Summit is about. So depending on when you're watching this, because I'm going to put it on YouTube, you might watch this at a later date and have missed it, and that's fine. It will be on again, there'll be wait lists, blah blah blah. It really is about, so we do have nutritionists as part of the one in November. We do have a mix of like practical, of spiritual, of we've got EFT, we've got all sorts of different things. For that very reason, it's about how we pull it all together under that whole one message about building your business without burning out in the process, because a lot of us have seen that in the corporate world. So that was beautiful and amazing. So it's brilliant. Thank you, Sonia, for coming today. And yeah, we will see you in future interviews and around and about. And I will pop obviously your details in below in terms of where people can connect with you as well. I will say that we're not going to waffle on about that right now because we want these to be short and done. So yeah, have a lovely day, everybody, and we will see you soon.
Thank you.
Oh, that's it. There we go.